Are you brave enough to build a life where the traditional market has vanished? We are exposing 5 U.S. towns offering free acreage to anyone willing to spark a dying local economy in 2026. This isn't a vacation. It requires grit, strict residency commitments, and specific infrastructure feats. We're breaking down exactly what it takes to claim your free plot before these offers disappear forever. There are counties in America where permits just disappear. Taxes glance at your property and move along. No inspector lurking, no clipboard anywhere. And the government. It's not just limited, it's completely absent. In these spots, you can throw up a cabin, a yurt, maybe a sketchy bunker, or a patchwork house made from leftover RVs, and nobody's coming to stop you. So get ready. We're about to visit the last 5 counties in the U.S. where you can actually live free. No permits, no red tape. Sometimes not even a neighbor for 20 miles. That's real freedom. It used to be simple. Your land, your house, your crops, no forms, no signatures, just living. But somewhere along the way, America got addicted to permits. Now, you can't build a shed without someone checking. Can't set a cabin down unless it's approved. And don't get any ideas about a composting toilet. Someone in a vest will show up, asking for your paperwork. Meanwhile, your property taxes climb faster than your blood pressure. The zoning map looks like a kid went wild with crayons. The HOA next door, they think your trash can is a public menace. So what's left? You seek out the last places in the country where things still make sense. Places where land is just land, and you can build first and never bother with questions. The county office, it's one person, one dog, and a filing cabinet that predates disco. And here's the thing, these places are real. Real people, real boundaries. Counties where you can build a cabin, live off-grid, and pay taxes so low you'll think it's a typo. Before we get going, do me a favor, hit subscribe. Not because I need the numbers, but because every time you do, an HOA somewhere loses a bit of power. Honestly, that's as patriotic as it gets. Coffee ready, notifications silenced. Perfect. We're going deep into America's forgotten corners. 5 counties where permits are optional, taxes are barely there, and freedom isn't just a motto, it's the way people live. But before we kick off this tour, let's get one thing straight. No permits doesn't look the same everywhere. Depending on where you are, a permit is just a sheet of paper, or it's the final boss in a reflective vest. In most of the country, building anything means drowning in paperwork. Want to put up a cabin? You'll need a permit. Building a shed? That's another permit. Thinking about sliding your tiny house 10 feet over? Congratulations, that now counts as a brand new structure. Get ready for a stack of forms, a couple of inspections, and some guy named Stan giving his opinion on your choices. But the counties we're talking about today's things are different there. No permits doesn't mean chaos. It doesn't mean you can weld together a Ferris wheel and call it home. It just means the county isn't going to meddle in your private home project. Forget about the building department, the zoning maps, or an inspector hiding out in the sagebrush, ready to pounce on your solar panels. It's just land, and you get to decide what you do with it. There are 3 kinds of freedom I'll cover. First, no building permits. You can put up a cabin, a tiny house, a barn, dominium, earthship, yurt, or your own off-grid stronghold, and nobody's checking if it's up to code, because there is no code. Second, no zoning. This one's rare. The government never split the land up into neat sections like residential, agricultural, commercial, or industrial. Your property can be whatever you want. Third, almost zero property taxes. In some of these counties, the tax bill is so tiny you'll think it's a joke like, is this for real? Yeah, it is. Put those 3 together and you've hit the jackpot for American freedom. A place where you build what you want, live how you want, and actually keep most of your money. Now that you know what no permits really means, let's get rolling and check out the first county, a place where even the tumbleweeds don't get charged rent. Welcome to Loving County, Texas. The population is so small, the Census Bureau probably double-checks every morning to see if it's still around. Depending on the year, the whole county has somewhere between 60 and 100 people. That's not a town. That's a family reunion with extra parking. Driving through Loving County, you might start to wonder if you've wandered onto the set of a post-apocalyptic film. It's mile after mile of flat prairie, and the sky is so wide it feels like someone just upgraded it. Oil pumps nod in the distance, quietly judging your decisions. And there's nobody to boss you around about what you build. Here's the secret. Loving County doesn't require building permits for private homes. Not a single one. Want to put up a cabin? Go ahead. Shipping container house. Build away. A bunker shaped like a giant armadillo. If you can haul the supplies, nobody will stop you. No county building department. No code enforcement officer hiding with a clipboard. No zoning. No planning board, just you, the land, and maybe the wind, trying to remember the last time it saw a person. And then there are the taxes. Loving County is always among the lowest property tax places in the country. Oil money covers nearly everything, so your tax bill feels like leaving a tip at breakfast. The freedom is so real, it seems like someone is playing a prank. You can park an RV, a yurt, a double-wide Evan, build something so weird it would never fly anywhere else. The county just shrugs and lets you do your thing. Of course, there's a catch. If you need Starbucks, DoorDash, or even regular human company, Loving County isn't for you. Your nearest neighbor could be 10 miles away. The closest store might be in another county. Emergency services. Just be patient. But that's the idea. People come out here because the modern world can't reach them. There's no HOA nitpicking the trash cans. No inspector calling your dream cabin unsafe just because you learned everything from YouTube and stubbornness. Loving County is what happens when freedom is left alone. It's empty, it's raw, and it's so quiet it's almost noisy. And it's one of the last places in America where you can really build whatever life you want. And if you think that's something, just wait. Next up is a mountain county in Arizona, where the government looks at your homemade house plans and just says, sure, go ahead. If Loving County is freedom baked by the Texas sun, then Greenlee County is freedom carved into the mountains. This is eastern Arizona, the part everybody forgets. People think Arizona is just cacti, Phoenix traffic, and tourists melting in the heat. But Greenlee is different. Here, the desert grabs a coffee and turns into mountains. The highway in looks like someone threw noodles on a map. It winds through cliffs, pine forests, canyons, and rivers that pop up out of nowhere. Like even nature wants to surprise you. Take a sip of water? Honestly, you'd never guess a place like this existed in Arizona. It absolutely doesn't feel like the kind of spot where someone from the county office jumps out from behind a pine and asks if your cabin has the right ventilation system. Because here's the wild thing, Greenlee County has 0 residential building codes, not a single one. If you want to build a log cabin, just do it. A tiny house, of course. A home shaped like a chili pepper because you had a strange dream after too much Mexican food. Go right ahead. Nobody's watching. There's no county building department to care. No surprise visits from inspectors. No endless rulebooks written by someone who thinks off-grid just means bad Wi-Fi. As long as you aren't building something about to slide down the mountain, the county leaves you alone. Taxes practically non-existent. In some towns, your yearly property tax is about what you'd spend on a couple of grocery runs in Phoenix, or maybe just one if you're buying organic almonds. And here's the kicker. Greenlee County is actually gorgeous. Not that nice if you squint, kind of pretty, and not cute if you like old gas stations. I'm talking real, breathtaking beauty. Rugged mountains, blue skies, thick green forests, the kind of scenery that makes you want to quit the internet till you remember you can post photos and make everyone jealous. Most people stick close to the old mining towns, Clifton and Morenci, colorful communities built right into the hillsides. But the real freedom is out in the valleys and on the far-off ridges, where the only things watching are deer and the occasional mule that looks like it wandered off. There's no HOA telling you your roof clashes with the feel of the neighborhood. No zoning maps that look like a toddler's artwork. No permit office asking for blueprints, signatures, or an evacuation plan in case of, who knows, unicorn stampedes. Just land, trees, mountains, and the room to build the life that actually fits you. Greenlee County proves that freedom isn't always about deserts or wild frontiers. Sometimes, it's just a quiet mountainside, waiting for someone determined enough to build what's truly theirs. Now, let's step away from the desert for a bit. Next stop, Lawrence County, Missouri. Imagine rolling green fields, peaceful farms, and hills that look like they drifted off to sleep around the 1950s. Here, you don't measure distance by how far you are from the closest cactus. Lawrence County is one of those rare corners of America where freedom just quietly exists. No brutal blizzards, no 6-mile walk for water. Just gentle hills, green pastures, gravel roads, and little towns where the grocery cashier probably remembers your lunch order from yesterday. And behind all that laid-back Midwestern.com, there's a tiny legal detail that sets Lawrence County apart. No zoning, no building codes, no planning department, micromanaging your land's purpose. If you own it, it doesn't need an identity given by a map. It's not residential or an agricultural corridor. It's just good dirt you can actually use. You want a cabin tucked away on your property? Build it. A double-wide modular home, barn dominium, or a tiny house you doodled on a napkin. Go for it. Big garden, greenhouse, chicken coop, or a shop for every broken-down truck you couldn't let go of. Nobody's calling a meeting about it. Lawrence County just lets you be. Nobody's driving around out here looking for code violations. Nobody's leaving notes in your mailbox about how your shop doesn't fit section whatever of some neighborhood ordinance. Most people would just laugh if you mentioned that, then go pitch some hay or feed the cows. Property taxes. They're so low, city folks think it's a mistake. You don't need a big paycheck just to make ends meet. Out here, you can actually buy land, build what you like, and not feel like the system's waiting to penalize you for it. Life's simple, but in the best possible way. People plant gardens, keep chickens, fix what breaks, and give a wave when they see you on the road. Not because anyone says they should, but because that's just the way it is. Of course, all that freedom has its quirks. Your neighbor might decide their chickens need a mansion, or maybe they'll put up a giant metal shop that looks like a UFO landed in the pasture, or start a tractor collection that's more maybe someday than working equipment. That's just Lawrence County. You mind your business, they mind theirs. Build what you want. No zoning boards, no paperwork, no one caring if your new porch fits in. It's not dramatic or wild. It's just one of the last places where rural America still feels the way it should. You buy some land, you build your life, and the county leaves you alone. Next up, we're heading west, out toward a rougher stretch of mountains where, technically, there's a government, but it doesn't bother with what you're building. Go far enough, and the green hills disappear. Trees get thin, and the sky just opens up huge. Suddenly, you're somewhere in America where the horizon looks fake, stretched out forever. That's Harding County, New Mexico. It's so quiet here, even the wind sometimes forgets to blow. If Lawrence County is freedom-colored green, Harding County is freedom-baked dry under endless blue sky. Almost nobody lives out here, just ranches, cattle, and plains that go on and on. The government? Tiny. You could probably fit the entire courthouse staff into a pickup truck. Harding County has something you almost never see anymore. No building department. Not a slow one. Not one that's short-staffed. Just none. No inspector, no permit counter, no checklist, no guy named Stan grilling you about roof pitches. Want to build a cabin? Go ahead. A tiny house. Sure, a barn as big as you want. Or a tower made of shipping containers because you got inspired by TV? That's fine too. As long as your project isn't falling onto the road, the county doesn't care. Taxes, hardly noticeable. Harding County is always near the bottom for property taxes in New Mexico. You get your bill and just shake your head. Did they miss a number? No, that's just how it is here. And the freedom isn't just something written down. Ask anyone, they'll tell you. If you want something done, you do it. If you want something built, you build it. No one's coming across 40 miles of prairie to inspect your porch or check your fence line. The land makes everything feel bigger. Too high desert, tall grass, mesas, sage, and sunsets so huge it almost feels like you're breaking a rule just looking at them. Nights are quiet, except for the coyotes and the occasional cow wondering what you're up to. Freedom always comes with a trade-off. In Harding County, you notice it immediately. This place is remote, really remote. If you try to order a pizza, you're more likely to get a postcard than a fresh slice. Grocery runs become expeditions, and if something goes wrong, you'd better hope you packed plenty of duct tape and a good sense of humor. But honestly, that's what pulls people in. Harding County is for those who are finished with paperwork, Tired of regulations, and done with maps that look like finger paintings. Here, nobody's leaning over your shoulder. No one's micromanaging your choices. It's just freedom, pure and simple. No explanations required. Think New Mexico's wild. Just wait for what's next. There's a county in Nevada's Esmeralda so empty, so untouched, so totally unregulated, it feels like civilization took a wrong turn and never arrived. If Harding County whispers freedom, Esmeralda County hollers it from the hills. It's Nevada's least populated county, which says a lot in a state where wild burros might outnumber people. Driving into Esmeralda, you start to feel like you've slipped back in time. The highways stretch endlessly. The hills look like a giant scattered boulders for fun. Ghost towns are sprinkled across the land like old stories left unfinished. And you get this unmistakable sense nobody, absolutely nobody, is coming to look at your building plans. Esmeralda County has no building inspectors, no planning office, no zoning department, and no one waiting to trample your off-grid ambitions. It's about as close as you'll get to total building freedom in America. Want to put up a cabin? Go ahead, yurt, dome house, solar hideout, maybe a wooden fortress shaped like your favorite cartoon. Have at it. Nobody's jotting it down. Nobody's drowning you in paperwork. And nobody's telling you your roof is aesthetic non-compliant with the neighbors. Out here, the only test is, does it stand? Good enough. Enjoy. Towns like Goldfield and Silver Peak still hang on old buildings. Small diners, little stores that feel lost in time. But once you leave town, it's just you, the desert, and a silence so deep you can almost listen to it. Taxes are still low. You won't need a second job just to pay for a mailbox. Nevada is all about wide open land and a government that mostly keeps to itself. And this lack of regulation isn't chaos. It's just practical. Esmeralda County covers more than 3,500 square miles, but less than 1,000 people live here. You could build a castle, and the only one watching might be a lizard who won't tell anyone. Of course, freedom comes with some warnings. Summers are harsh. Winters can be tough. Cell signals vanish right when you need them, and the nearest groceries might be 45 minutes or even an hour and a half away, if you're lucky. But the people who love Esmeralda aren't here for convenience. They come for the space, the quiet, the chance to build life without filling out a stack of forms and sitting through a zoning meeting run by someone who can't stand tiny houses. Esmeralda isn't for everyone. It's for the stubborn, the dreamers, the off-gridders, the ones who want to make their own world and live by their own rules. And that's the end of this wild road trip. 5 real counties where freedom isn't just something politicians talk about, it's how people actually live their lives. That's it, 5 counties. Right here in America, where freedom isn't a catchphrase or a bumper sticker. It's the climate, the standard, the steady background of daily life. Here, permits aren't lurking in the shadows. Taxes aren't waiting to ambush your wallet. The county office is more like a suggestion than a threat. You really can build your life without asking a dozen people for permission. From the quiet plains of Harding County, over the Greenlee Mountains, past the fields of Lawrence, across Loving's empty horizons, and into the forgotten mining towns of Esmeralda, these places prove something important. America isn't out of freedom. It's just hiding where most people never think to look. These counties aren't perfect. They aren't convenient. They're not fancy, and your packages might never arrive. But they offer something rare: space, quiet, and the chance to live without someone constantly watching. So if you found yourself dreaming about off-grid cabins, or a life where inspectors don't pop out of nowhere, hit like, tap subscribe, and maybe YouTube will show this to someone else who wants to escape their HOA. Who knows? Maybe your future county is out there, just waiting for you to show up. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay free, and I'll see you in the next